Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Kakwadash, double honors to my bishops, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who have taught me this truth, the chosen, who I believe are the chosen vessels to lead the nation of Israel. And, Shalom, salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word of sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth, delivering the message to the elect out there to run the race of salvation. And like the brothers like to say, risking their lives to do so. And Shalom to the elect, which consists of the men, women, and children that have the true, sincere faith, the ones that have the ear to hear, the ones that's looking forward to earn their ways of salvation and flee the hour of temptation. I'm the brother, I'm out of the DC Church, and just coming at you with a video, and it's just like something that just been pondering on throughout the day. Is just like, we're waiting for the Lord to show a sign. So basically, we're waiting to answer or act upon certain signs and wonders that the Lord will put out in the earth for us prophets, us the ones of Israel to hearken and basically take heed, because the Lord is always putting out instructions and things of that nature out there to be led by the Spirit and not by what men seems to be right. So that's why we constantly want to stay in the Spirit, so that as we get closer and closer, we're in a new year, we know that it's even more important to be in the Spirit and not lean on to your own understanding, constantly questioning things and weighing out the balances and scales, because now we're closer. One thing I take in mind is that when the prophets or certain individuals are speaking, or not, you just in general, man, take everything but with a grain of salt. And Elder Zainal I mentioned, I'm not sure when, they had mentioned that they're gonna come. Oh yeah, yep. They're gonna come to try to put hands on us. During Saturday, there was a bug out woman, and she threw a bottle at and wind up striking one of the brothers. That's just a small sign, to understand that be on point, stay in the Spirit, because these people are looking to hurt us, man. They're going to eventually, And I didn't get it yet, or I was looking for it. How Shah has said, basically, the servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted him, they will also persecute us. And that's one thing in our minds, is to start gearing that up right now. Betrayal, ultimate, the Lord is going to push us to our limits. But be of good cheer. Yahweh Shai overcame this world, and also the scriptures talk about how the Lord's not going to put you through anything that you're not able to handle. Okay. So it's good to constantly be, cultivating or carving your character to be more suitable to hop in the Spirit and hop out of the flesh, because we know that the flesh is it's always desiring, and the more you feed it, the more it's going to want. And it's the same thing with the Spirit, man. Once you win it, you don't want to get out of it. But give me 1 second, Salakia. Oh yeah, here we go. This is John 15, verse 20. It says, "Remember the word that I have said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also." So that's why we constantly push this truth, this word, and endure. Because the Lord said, fight for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. We're ultimately fighting for salvation and being in the good graces in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It says, "But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake." So it's all, we're going to be persecuted, we're going to be put on trial for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's sake. So the pain, the torment, and the things that we're going through now is not to be compared to the things we're going to be coming up facing in the future. It says, "Because they know not him that sent me." Yeah, these people don't know Yahweh. They don't know Yahweh Shai. They don't know their ways. They don't know the image. They don't know. They don't even know how to pray properly. You know what I'm saying? So that we're in a foreign land, facing foreign things, but one thing the Spirit keeps telling me to keep my mind on this is we all know it, but it's so important that Because it's little scriptures that keep you in mind. They're like, yo, hang on to your faith. And like in scriptures, like in Hebrews, it talks about hope is an anchor. For us to constantly endure and hang on to what we believe in, and the Lord will fight for us. Because this world is full of hatred and negativity and anything that's depressing, decaying, and desolate. And it's constantly taken away. So you constantly have to feed yourself in order to stay afloat, to stay in the spirit. That's why this thing is a fight. It's a true, it's so, how can I say it? It is, as we get closer, we will understand more and more how much of a fight this really is, and how we don't have no say-so in this fight. So that's why we, understand more and more to cast our burdens upon the Lord. And one way about doing that is just doing the Lord's work. So when those burdens will be lifted off of you when you start to do the work, because now you're focused, you're occupied, you won't be hindered by your thoughts, your turmoil you're going through, which could cause you to come into a rut. So when you're working for the Lord will reveal to you the things you do to soothe, to bring joy back unto you, so you could think with a clear mind and handle your business, so you could serve the Lord better. It says, okay, here, yeah, at the top it says Ecclesiasticus 2:1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." And that's the thing, that our temptation is getting ready to be heightened, because just like let me just see if I can grab it real quick. And Daniel's, man, there's gonna be a time like never since before. So you have to imagine or put things in your mind on how things will be in these end times. This is Daniel 12:1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." See, so that's the thing. You're going to be saved, but if you're written in the book, not everybody's going to be delivered. It says, "And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Wow. So that goes to show you what we still have time, because all types of hell didn't break loose, because the elect have been fully woken up. And that could only, just reading that, it just makes sense how some type of chaos and turmoil needs to happen in order to shake up the spirits and wake the people up out of the deep sleep that they're in, so they could come to the water and get hydrated, and serve the Lord. And it seems like we're a big broken record, but look, here the scriptures is very repetitive, because, and that's one thing when you get older in this truth, you understand that, like, with the mind and the spirit is two totally separate, different things. Like, you got your spirit, which comes back on the earth, but then your mind, that's the thing that's cultivated through as you're being raised as a child. And how one good thing that I could get ahead and prove that is your habits, right? You got good habits, you got bad habits. Good habits come from where you practice, or you did something repetitively over and over again, most likely not really knowing what you're doing for the future. But in all reality, how can I say it? Like, basically, you train your mind to do things automatically, without like really thinking too much about it. It's just like something that's what they call it, a muscle reflex. So you have those things. What they got something called muscle memory. So you see your mind is nothing but one big computer, where the more repetitive you are with one thing, the better you'll get at it, and smoother you'll be. It says, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightest of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Yeah, man. And that, you see, that's beautiful, because I was just thinking like how we're attacked daily, and how we need to stay in this word even more as we get closer and closer, because we know we may not have Bibles. A lot of us may not have Bibles in the end times, to be quite honest. You might have some individuals, but you could through the spirit you could tell like you're not gonna have some scriptures you're not gonna have your sword and things of that nature to where you could read and calm the soul. You will have to basically memorize and pray to the Lord and ask for to restore joy, understanding, or knowledge, or wisdom, or whatever you need at that time. Food, water, to calm the people down. Because it's all through the spirit, man. But you see that the more solid your character is, the more the Lord will. How can I say that? The more you basically rub off on the people. So if you fear, the people will fear. But if you calm, stoic, you'll be Lord's will. You'll be all right if you're a man of the Lord. But yeah, let's get back because we talked about we're light, and I thought about the scripture like how we're attacked. Because imagine somebody, we're literally we're on top of a hill with not a flashlight, but like a what is that called? A comet, like something that you can see from far. Like I remember when the Twin Towers fell in New York, man, you was able to see that from Staten Island all the way from New Jersey. You was able to see those lights that were shining up to be the memorial of the Twin Towers that fell on 9/11. And that's basically us. People can see us from afar. And that's demons will see that, and they will constantly attack us mentally, physically, attack our cars, our pets, women, children, the house, just anything that could nitpick at your mind to steer you off course. This is Matthew 5, verse 14. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." We can't be hid, man. So that's why what Scripture says. I think this is it. Let your light shine before all men, man. So that's why it's a constant and repetitive thing for us to go over these scriptures, go over our mental strengths, because you see in this world our bodies decay, and you start to see weaknesses in the armor. Just keeping it real, man. We in the flesh, man. So that's why we're looking for these new bodies to where goddamn mosquito won't come on land on you and inject poison inside you and you start itching. This flesh is super weak, man. Keep going. It says, neither do men. Let me see. Salakia. You cannot be hid. It says, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So that's why it's constantly, no matter how you feel or what you think, is to do the Lord's work. And just like in Sirach, it talks about how you should be increased at that last. So even right now, you may be down and now, ain't got the best this, ain't got the best that, but it's all about like striving for that penny. And I mention this a lot, the courage to continue, because in this truth, man, like I just read earlier, we're gonna be persecuted, we're gonna be put on the news, they're gonna be persuading the people that we know and love to we're evil, we're ain't right, we this, we that, we may not. All we're doing is teaching the scriptures, and hopefully one wakes up and repents, so the heavens could rejoice and and quicken this thing up, because we're trying to get the hell out of here. We're living in hell, and people want to make it comfortable in hell, which is not, it's not cool. That's how we know people are. We can tell from a distance people are bugged out, because you want to actually live here. And regardless if you go to another city, area, state, Esau will come in, have something to do with your living situation due to the fact of the curses, so you can't run. All right, it says, let your light shine. Yeah, man, you gotta let your light shine, man. That's another way of waking up the elect. Then he's standing so stiffly for the Lord. What's people will think what made him think that? When that movie, what was that movie called? Cookie. Men of Honor, where Robin Cuban Goody Jr. or something like that. His name was his name was Cookie in the movie, and he was what was his name? There was another actor. Robert De Niro, he basically he looked at Cookie, and basically Cookie was just he was the best on the what's that called, the deep sea diving team. And then he said he looked at he grabbed his father's picture because he was trying to make Cookie quit, Robert De Niro. And then Robert De Niro was just trying to make him quit because he knew that the head honcho wasn't going to let Cookie pass. And then that's when he grabbed Cookie's picture of his dad. And it's like he grabbed the picture, and Cookie got all mad. And he said, "Damn, what did he say to you to make you try so hard?" And then basically he said, Cuban Gooding Jr. Cookie said he said to be the best. And that's how we know, like, yo, Jake is the best, man. That's how we know throughout the 12 tribes, like the Northern Kingdom, they gotta be, man. They gotta be. They have to be, man. If you see through the spirit, they are. You know how much flavor and charisma and smoothness they have to them. And talking about the Northern Kingdom, like Issachar and Gad and all the other tribes that's in the Northern Kingdom. It says, "Verily I say unto you," I missed one. Verse 17, it says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets." Did I read this? Yeah. Or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So yeah, there's a lot of things that needs to be fulfilled. You know, us being saved. A big one is to wipe those tears away from our faces, man. You know, hey, just keeping it real, because I realize this too, man. That man, people gonna be put to death, man, and it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna try to shake those thoughts, but the only thing you're gonna really have is prayer. It says, "Verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." Beautiful. Call hello Yahweh Shemi Shai, right? It says, "Whatsoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments." Yeah, but the whole point is like we're a light, so we have to constantly renew our light. We have to constantly not renew our light, but like brighten our light by getting into these scriptures, mainly, and meditating on there. So our roots could be within death. This is another scripture I was thinking about on the way of meditating on the script on the video. Is the 13? Because I can really start at I said well, I'll just start at 9. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 27:9. It said, "The birds will restore unto their like, so will truth return unto them that practice in her." Yeah, man. So a lot of individuals, they don't practice truth. They practice Alex de Crawley saying, damn, what the fuck is that shit? Do as thou wilt. So any thought, any craving that comes to mind, they're gonna all at default go to that thought and achieve or try to achieve that thought, to accomplish it. Which in all reality, that's just a lot of them are demons and it's Satan. It says, "As a lion lieth in wait for the prey, so sin for them that worketh iniquity." And one thing that when I read this earlier, meditating on this video, was Esau is lying in wait, man. Just he's gradually putting things in place to put you in the corner to where you gotta move. You're either gonna go left or you're gonna go right. If you go left, you're gonna have to receive this what's that called? The ID Act, the Digital ID Act, and along with that, and whatever that comes with it, and the whole CHIP thing, and wherever else they got come packaged with that, But then go to the right, to totally rely on Yahweh Shemi Shai and say, no, I refuse to be a part of the society, and that's what's gonna be boiled down to, the end all be all. The discord of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool change as the moon, And that's one thing, man, about this society. It's constantly changing every couple years, slowly but surely working its way towards these futuristic movies. If verse 12, it says, "If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, be not," it says, "but be continually among men of understanding. The discord of fools are irksome, and their sport is the wantonness of sin. And that's, man, you know, that's the thing, right? Hold on, let me read it again because I got a little excited because I forgot what I thought about the wantonness, and basically like, yo, those are those doest thou wilt spirits, you know, those spirits beyond certain items, drinks, beverages, cars, or whatever, and they'll just pop out of you. And, you know, I see even seen it today with this one woman. Well, I forgot where I was at, but Target, and she basically walked past an item, but then the spirit hit her like, boom, hold up, let me go back and smell that. You know, that happens, you know. But those be, I was like, yeah, those be spirits, man. You know, and then like, and it's truth, man. You got to know how to manage and balance them things. You know, and one way to strengthen yourself is to say no. Say no to your lust. Say no to that food. Say no to that woman. Say no to, you know, certain pleasures that you indulge in, because eventually it turns into a snowball effect, and you just want more and more, and it doesn't end well, you know. So that's why to feed the flesh is ultimately death, you know, like the scriptures say. Continuing on, you know. Oh yeah, it's irksome because as we get close. Oh yeah, that's another thing, you know. The discord of fools are irksome because as we get closer and closer to this end, you're gonna have more and more fools pop up, and it's gonna irritate our spirits, and our spirits are gonna, like, you know, want to get carnal, like, man, like, I can't believe this is happening, and etc. But not, you know, knowing that person or individual is building up a mark for themselves to be destroyed, you know. And that's one thing we have to keep in mind is the Lord has our backs. Just constantly endure. You know, put your mind towards ignoring. That's a good one. Enduring and ignoring. You know, some things you just gotta like train your mind, strengthen your mind to ignore, and that's hard. Hardest thing in this truth is to forget, or what's it called? What I say? To unlearn something or forget, forgive. That is a spiritual power, and that's something that, brethren, I'll focus on myself. I need to focus on more is forgiveness, forgetting, unlearning, and developing new habits. That's all this truth is about, man. You know, we're in a whole life commitment of everlasting learning. You know, like a lot of these other, I can't say Stoics, but like, you know, there's a lot of individuals out there, they on that tip of everlasting learning. It's verse 14 out of Sirach 27 chapter. It says, the talk of him that swear much maketh the hair stand up right, and their brawls make one stop their ears. The strife of the proud is bloodshed. You know, and that's getting ready to come to pass, man. The strife of the proud, man, because Esau wants us to be under his rule and do things in his manner and fashion. And the Lord is not with us, so he's going to, oh my goodness, so goddamn raccoon. He's going to start, you know, unaliving people, deleting people because, you know, down with the get down. You know, he's just on that passive aggressive tip. But yeah, man, you know, I just wanted to do that. That's something I was thinking about. It's the new year. You know, you're going to have a lot of those new year, new me things. So like what? Keep in mind, endure and ignore. So with that, I hope you was edified, exhorted, motivated to seek the Lord 10 times more. I want to give all praise and honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash, the honor to my bishops, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to brothers out there pushing the words of sincerity and truth. And shalom to the elect. Shalom.